Good morning. Well, we are continuing our coverage on the lead up to the 144th Preakness Stakes. And of course, a lot of people are going to be placing bets on this year's race. And actually joining with me right now is Dan Collins. He's a handicapper for this year's event. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
So for those at home and even me who are just finding out what this term is, talk a little about what handicapping is.
Certainly. If you're going to be a handicapper, you have to get up close and personal with the daily racing form. We're studying the past performances of the horses, trying to determine based on what level they've been successful at, how well they can race, the different tracks that they've been at, to determine when they're in a particular race, how well they're going to fare, who's going to win, who isn't.
That's right, and so we're clearly seeing and hearing this will be one of the biggest Preakness Stakes in a really long time, I believe since 2011. Some really big names out there like Improbable. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, Improbable did come out of the Kentucky Derby, did race fairly well. He hasn't raced a lot this year. He looks like a horse who's coming into form. He doesn't have to worry about the horses who finished first and second in the Derby, so it's kind of an open field, but definitely looks like in terms of his earnings and his past performances that he'll be the class of the race.
There's some other really big names out there as well. You want to talk about that?
Sure. Well, for me, I like Signal Man as a possible running mate, as it were, for Improbable. Another horse who is fairly lightly raced, has good earnings, good class, looks like is rounding into form. Because what's most important is to remember that these are athletes, these are living creatures. So as a handicapper, part of what I'm trying to do is determine who is getting ready for that big effort. And I think Signal Man and Improbable are two horses who are ready for that.
Now let's talk about the track here a bit. This is obviously we're at Pimlico Racecourse. Does the track have any impact on the horse's, ability and run here?
Absolutely. Some horses like an off-track better than others. Certainly, what we saw in the Derby was just a sea of mud and slop. Can definitely affect how a race can go. Right now, I think we're probably looking for a fast track. By the time we get ready for Saturday, I think the rain is going to be cleared out, and the track here at Pimlico, I know, is very good about draining water. So I think they'll be in good shape. The issue, of course, is post position. Who's going to get the rail, who's going to be on the outside and then has to move over to get in, because the track may not necessarily be fast all the way through. It may be faster on the rail and not so on the rest of the track. So that's why, like as a trainer, you might want to get out and walk the track a little bit, see how it feels for your horse.
Awesome. All right. Well, Dan, thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us those insights and key points about that. And, clearly things are underway here at Pimlico Racecourse. We were seeing some of those Preakness horses racing on by here, practicing a bit. So certainly a lot going on this morning. Let's send it over to Jonathan Myers for our weekend forecast.
Yeah, looking good there, Elijah. Properly dressed with the hat. You got the little, the boutonniere flower there. We got